Hey guys, this is Lantis, and you're listening to the MagCast.
Hey guys, welcome back to the MagCast on this lovely sunny Friday night, which sounds like an oxymoron, but hey, fall isn't here yet. Today we have our crew of regulars. We have Ixion.
Hi.
And Dray, of course.
Of course.
Of course. Lantis.
Hi guys.
And Shade Fox.
Hello.
He is a phantom, apparently. So yeah. What's everyone been up to this week? Week of weeks. Couple weeks.
Well, I am currently in a market for a new capture device, because my old one, it broke.
Yeah, me and X were there for that. It was a sad time.
Have you considered that Super Paper Mario is so bad that it broke the capture device?
It just didn't want to.
It's like, I'm done.
I've seen a little bit of Super Paper Mario. I don't think it's too terrible.
You should watch the LP.
Yeah, at the very least, watch through Chapter 2.
I saw the chameleon thing. I thought it was kind of funny.
Yeah, it was funny.
I mentioned that I thought it was kind of funny. It's that is one of the few times the game actually did something innovative that was actually kind of interesting. Though as far as the actual fight goes, you can't lose. So, like, that's probably the easiest boss fight next to, like, Bob the Goldfish.
Well, I don't know. That giant blooper was kind of ridiculous.
Oh, that was incredibly easy too.
But as far as videos you should watch to see just how crappy Super Paper Mario can get, I can find the playlist. Where are you, playlist? There it is. You need to watch episodes 13 and 14. No, my mistake. Episodes 11 and 12. 11 and 12.
Okay.
The Dreadmill episodes.
Oh gosh.
That was something.
Yeah, that started back up again.
Yeah.
And it's a good watch.
As for me, I've been very slowly but surely playing through more X Zone and Last of Us.
Good deal.
Yeah, but that outside of that, I've just been playing Borderlands 2 and Dungeon Defenders. Like
Can't
old
imagine
times.
with who.
I can't either.
How's about you, Iggs?
Don't talk to me.
Fine, V6.
Wait, what?
V6.
Do not talk to me, P6.
Oh, that's why. Well, no, he's been playing BL2.
You've been playing stuff.
V6.
I've seen you. There's eyewitnesses.
You know, that's a friggin' lie. And
Oh, is it?
it is a lie. You know I only work on V6.
So if I went to your Steam account and check your achievements, you would have absolutely no achievements from Dungeon Defenders.
Absolutely
Recently,
none.
with a timestamp of, within the past week.
Yeah, and you know what? I would put any feature of V6 up against that if I'm lying. And in fact, I'll just name them off the top of my head. The
No!
I just did a pizza function up against that. I don't care.
You shut up.
Okay, anyway, yeah. I've been doing a little bit of Borderlands 2. What else? Earthbound. I can't really update you on my progress, but
because a certain someone here hasn't played a game that's almost 20 years old.
It's Faye's fault.
yeah.
What? I wasn't here for the first 19.
But I am.
What? FaZe stopped you these almost 20 years?
I'll get him one day.
Well,
I'll curse the plans.
okay, fine. Recently, it was Faye's fault. Before that, it was simply because the game was
blame
hard
Duel.
to find and very expensive.
Dual press stole Dray.
I can find it within a matter of 3 clicks.
It took me a while to find a copy under $100.
Well, I'm just saying.
And now it's $10 on Wii U.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
before I bought a second copy.
I can say that I am about to complete my Soundstone because I know you got that. So just FYI, that's where I am about. So
All right. Hey, now I guess. Actually, I know where you are. You told me.
I did. So
Yeah, I know too.
So
so
have
shut
you?
up.
So you're about to get the final one,
Right. And then stuff happens.
and then stuff happens
That's a
relevant
good
to the end of
deal.
the game.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, Faye,
Shadow
what
Fox.
about you?
Oh,
Yeah.
you want to go for me?
No, I was
Okay,
gonna-
I'll just count Shadow Fox. That's fine. I'm first in the hangout. Sorry, Shadow Fox.
I'm so hurt. My heart's bleeding.
I will get you a Linkin Park album after the podcast.
Wow.
I tried so hard and got so far.
In the end, it didn't even matter. But anyways, past all of us being old people, let's talk about me. Which is pretty hard for me to do sometimes. But hey, I've been doing the same stuff as Lantis, pretty much exactly without The Last of Us. I played Project X Zone. What else have I done here? Shoot. Oh, I've been playing Animal Crossing and Earthbound. I'm like a freaking combination of everyone.
right.
But in Earthbound, I'm way further back because I just bought it this week. So,
Woot.
I'm on like the... Hold on, let me count. Like the 6th Soundstone? Yeah, I have the 6th one.
Oh god, you're a lot
you're
farther
making
than I thought you were.
progress.
I trucked through it in like a matter of hours because I know where everything is, and I even power leveled in some places because sometimes that helps.
There's
and
only
I wanted
one
to be
place
fresh
I
to help
grind.
Dray. Huh?
There's only one place I grind.
In the
Oh,
bedroom.
yeah, I know. I know where.
Where all the fobbies are.
Yeah, that.
Oh my gosh.
I will be showing Dray that because it's amazing.
Fobbies. Just get like some freaking fire gamma going.
And then
Fobbies,
they're dead.
fresh
As soon
off
as I get a
Bodie's.
new capture device, we'll have to get back on that.
Absolutely. We're
Yeah,
going to be
yeah.
powering through that because I'm fresh on it and I can actually help. But yeah, I've been doing that. And I think that's about it. I've actually been gaming a lot, so I'm kind of proud of that.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah,
job.
you
Good
beat
job.
you beat Borderlands 2 for the first time.
Oh yeah, I did that with Lantis and Eggs and Facts.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. We
First
started
time ever.
and when we've been playing through Tiny Tina's D&D campaign, which has been really
I
interesting.
think it's like the best DLC. I can't
Yeah,
help it.
we ended on a high note by completing a quest where we retrieved a sword, and in turn were rewarded guns that shot swords that exploded into 3 smaller swords that also explode.
Grenade launcher made of swords.
I am not even kidding.
It's actually
That is-
a shotgun.
Or
yeah,
shotgun.
that
but
deals
still.
explosive damage via swords.
So good.
But yeah, that's about it.
This is Borderlands 2 you're talking about?
It is.
Borderlands 2.
If there ever is a Borderlands 3, I'm going to have to get in on that action.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hopefully there will be. I think so.
Probably
But
not till next gen.
us four, as in Ix, Faye, myself, and Mayokai, we're playing through Borderlands 2, and we also got Dungeon Defenders, and we've been playing through that. Me and Ix
Yeah.
are fairly veteran at the game, but Mayokai and
I
Faye
am
are.
not.
So,
I am playing
and the
with
thing
support.
is, we're playing on PC, which there's so much more stuff on PC than on console. So
By far.
And they have no
Yeah.
plans to bring it over, so
yeah,
PC
so,
it is.
so I'm actually playing through as a character. Like I mastered all the previous 4 characters and stuff like that. So now there's a whole nother set of characters I can play as, and it's just I'm reliving it, and it's good stuff.
Reliving the dream.
the crack.
Reliving the game, and I want to be so excited for the second one, but the whole free to play aspect is just
Yeah.
it bugs me. It gets under my skin, and I don't like it. I'm uncomfortable with it, but what can you do?
Well, just
Yeah.
wait and see.
Yeah.
Wait and see. But what about you,
Wait and
Shadow
see.
Fox? Since I cut you off.
Well, I've been kind of quiet around the place for like 2 weeks, but I got Resonance of Fate, which stars Leanne, Sever, and Vacheron from Project X Zone. So it's a game made by Tri-Ace. So
Yay!
the combat I actually really enjoy the game so far, although I have gotten frustrated at certain parts, but I got past it. So you know how they fight in X-Zone, right? Where they're jumping around and shooting a lot?
Yeah, it's Valkyrie profile.
It's exactly what happens in the game. Like combat is like a semi-real-time battle type of thing, like a Star Ocean game would be, kind of. But enemies don't move unless you move, and they won't attack unless you do something. So you can sit there and plan out what you want to do, and you have a hero gauge at the bottom, and if you push square, it shows you like a path that you can run on, and that's where you can do like hero stuff and run across the battlefield and jump in the air and do all kinds of gun acrobatics and stuff. And pretty much with your guns you can charge up and stuff. Like you have your crosshairs and kind of like a bullseye thing, and it'll show the gauge charge up, and then that's how many like it charges up your power and whatnot. And you get machine guns and pistols. And there's two types of damage that you can do in the game. One is scratch damage, and then the other is actual real damage. Scratch damage just makes your body susceptible to like being able to be killed quickly, whereas regular damage, it's really hard to take a lot of damage and give a lot of damage if you're using just the pistols, and enemies have a lot of body HP and stuff. So you can't, and every time you do the hero run and stuff where you can jump around, it takes one away from your hero gauge. And if your gauge runs out or gets broken by an enemy from excessive scratch damage, you can go into condition critical, where your characters are sitting around shaking with their hands on their heads and stuff, and they run really funny. And they shoot slower, and you start taking real damage after that, instead of scratch damage.
It's just a scratch. No, it isn't. I cut your arm off.
Have you found the part with the clock from their special attack where they just throw Molotovs in front of a clock and they fall?
I haven't seen that. I'm only in chapter.
Does the chick have to wear makeup to fight? Is that game? Is that the thing where she has to wear makeup to fight well?
I haven't seen it yet.
It gives her confidence.
Yeah.
You can actually dress up your characters. It does nothing as far as defense or anything like that. It's just a costume thing that you can have fun with. It costs money though, like in-game currency. And also,
I remember when games didn't have, had to have been specified, that's in-game currency as opposed to actual real money.
Yeah.
Those were good times.
Yep, remember those.
Also, when you level up in the game, it's based on weapons. So, every weapon has a level, and that determines your character's level. So, you have pistol, machine gun, and grenades. And if you just level a pistol, you're probably going to start lagging behind everybody else if you keep trading their weapons out. So it's a good idea to shuffle the weapons around so everybody's building a level up to get better HP. So it's been a pretty fun experience. I'd say if you're into Star Ocean games and want to try something different and a little more challenging, I would say go for it.
It's just a flesh wound.
And also, I've been looking for a house.
Really, a house?
Yeah.
As opposed to an apartment? Or?
Yeah, the apartment rates are
higher.
Yeah, as it's going to be pretty much anywhere since
Sure.
after the housing market crash, pretty much all apartments have been costing more than some houses.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind a house.
You should get the house.
Yeah, but I'm waiting for after the year is over to see where I'm going with that.
That's
Nothing
true.
says, a happy future like 30 years of debt.
Oh.
Well, in my case, I'm looking at 15. I want 15.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mom is just paying off her house.
Mine's
There's
mine's
5,000
15.
left.
Well, the
She's
good
in
thing
her
is,
40s.
good thing is you can sell a home, whereas student loans you can never sell off unless you die.
Unless you die. Thanks, government!
Well, there's two ways you don't have to pay student loans anymore. Is if you die, or if you become physically disabled to where you cannot work. But then you can't have a cosigner. If you do, then they have to pay for it.
Co-signing is evil, by the way.
Co-signers.
I had my credit ruined for 8 years because I was helping a buddy out who wanted to get a laptop.
Never do it!
Yeah, I made that mistake.
Yeah.
He stopped paying, so it fell on me, and it ruined my credit, because I was also a broke college student at the time.
I got my credit ruined in a different way, but it's getting fixed.
Yeah,
it sucks.
Yeah, I just recently, over the past 3 years, been able to get my credit
mine's starting to come back up.
Oh, mine's great now. My credit score was like 816.
Gosh.
I don't even know what mine is right now, except for pretty high.
You get 3 free credit reports a year through the major 3, so...
Yeah.
If you do a credit check, though, it, kind of docks your credit a little bit.
No, well...
Much, but just,
I've heard that.
Yeah, it takes off a few points, not like anything that's going to kill you.
Yeah. Well, 2 years ago, I was in very good position, so... I'm not particularly worried. I've been paying off stuff rather than adding more stuff on me.
Right.
So that's always good.
I'm surprised.
Finance cast.
I'm surprised with all the debt.
No.
Finance cast.
I'm surprised with all the debt that I have. My credit score is around 700.
That's good.
I'm working on it though.
It's good stuff. It's like leveling up in a game.
Yeah.
You have to get that thing up.
Lantis always says it's like money throw.
Yeah, it's like you're an engine. It's Guild Toss. That's the only attack you have, and the bosses are your loans.
Money throw.
So I'm freaking fighting the Emerald Weapon right now.
Damn.
It's not that.
Guild Toss.
But I think we better just get into some news now, probably. So let's do some story mode.
Absolutely.
Yay.
Story mode.
Story mode.
Okay, Cartman. Okay, anyways. Shadow Fox, who lovingly did the bump this week, he brought us this story today. Pretty big story about Super Smash Bros. Wii U / 3DS. Would you like to elaborate?
Actually, it's just the Wii U that they're...
Oh, there's just the Wii U
Yeah, it's just the Wii U version that they're...
Alright.
Okay, so what happened was, somebody leaked a video of, the story mode introduction cutscene thing, or all the cutscenes or something, and so now Nintendo, well, people who are making Smash Bros, I'm not going to just throw it all on Nintendo, but, people who are making Smash Bros have said that they're going to just completely nix story mode because of that. So, no more story mode, like the substation, or subspace emissary or whatever.
You know what? I don't care.
But
the story mode in Brawl was freaking...
I kinda didn't care either. I'm not, not trying to be harsh on it, but I like the GameCube one.
The only thing that was good about the story mode is that you could unlock characters easier through that. You can unlock most of the characters.
I really liked story mode in Brawl up until the last areas of the game where it took all the areas in that game and put them into one stage, which was dumb. But I really liked it because it gave me a single-player experience because I didn't really have the option for multiplayer, or not a good multiplayer, stupid online lag.
Oh, nobody did.
Yeah.
But that doesn't make single-player any better. It was just...
I was lucky enough to be in college when that came out, but now...
And Super Smash Bros. Lag.
Like, I'm not saying, like, it was as good as it could have possibly been, right? The Brawl single-player campaign. But, I'm sorry, Brawl is not a single-player experience. That game is not meant to be experienced single-player. That is a party game, plain and simple.
Well, what's funny
I don't have party people.
What's funny too is
party people in the house.
The article was making it sound like story mode has been in all the Smash Bros. Games, but it hasn't. It's just been in Brawl.
It's just been like a one-player kind of a board game mode, but not really. You just travel different blips and kill stuff.
Like,
And
well,
collect trophies.
the only thing that you got out of the single player experience was having like levels to kind of explore. I say explore, but just
I thought that
transverse.
levels were
That's
just
about
kind of
it.
subpar. I wish they
Yeah,
did the ones
Yeah, that was
before.
it. Like,
There was
you
a-
go around, you beat up certain characters with having to play as other characters.
Well,
There
it was
a little bit of a story going on, and yeah, you had the levels, and you had boss battles, which I thought were fun.
Yeah.
it was definitely good for collecting characters like that you would have to get through versus through 1,000 battles or something, which is really horrible.
Well, how many characters were locked?
About half of them, I think.
Yeah. There
Was
were
it
quite
really
a
that
few.
many?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't even list them off because there's so many characters in that game.
I can only, off the top of my head, I can only think of like 5 or so. So
There's Wolf.
yeah, Wolf, of Sonic and Snake were both locked. I think Rob was locked.
Mhm.
Uh,
I think Lucas was locked.
maybe.
I can't remember.
There's too many characters for me to remember.
Also,
Yeah.
this is the only game you're ever going to see Link and Ganondorf working together.
Yeah.
But yeah, I kind of,
Project X Zone Brawl.
like I can just barely give credence to them wanting to nix the story mode just because it's like, well, the game hasn't even come out yet. All our cutscenes have been revealed. That kind of sucks. But
Whatever. Wah,
But-
wah,
That's
wah.
kind of where I'm at with it. Like, everything gets leaked. Like, the ending to Mario Dream Team right now is on YouTube.
well, and that's
Probably
the,
the Japanese version.
that's the
but
thing
still.
too. It's like if you don't want to see it, don't click it.
Don't
You
click
know,
it, man.
I think they're. I
Stuff
think
gets leaked
Nintendo's
for like every game.
completely overreacting, and it's not a big deal. And you know what? If you think you got to take away the single player experience out of the game over that, I'm not gonna miss it. So do whatever you want.
And
big
Eva
titty
will be
babies.
like, Eva
Well,
will be
I
like, oh
kinda
man, it's
will
more of a
miss it
competition
because-
game.
I kind of will miss it because playing against a computer in party mode it gets boring really quickly.
Well,
It
then
does.
play online with us. You've got an internet connection.
And they fixed
Yeah.
their net play with Mario Kart, so I think they have that shit on lockdown at this point.
Yeah, if they use the same kind of net code that they use for Mario Kart 7, then freaking everything's gonna be fine.
Well, you guys aren't online all the time.
I will be. I just won't sleep. Well, probably let
well-
you play random people a la Mario Kart. Like, I played people from,
Oh.
like, Russia, Spain, Japan,
Are
United
you kidding me?
States.
I have seen people play Super Smash Bros. Brawl. I would get my
Oh.
tail handed to me on a silver platter.
Well, I mean,
I don't know. There'll be, like, a lot of
we're
eight-year-olds
not
playing
gonna
that
be
we
on
could
all the time,
crush.
and neither are you. Like,
Right, so
I
I
it's
need
a
player experience for the off hours.
it's not a single player. It's a party game. You're not supposed to play it
I
single
think they'll
player.
have
you
the single
can.
player.
You can.
Yeah,
still,
I liked enough Subspace Emissary, but at the same time, I've usually played the multiplayer aspect.
Got your
So
butt wrecked.
Anything can be made a one-player experience. It's just
It's
may
not
not
gonna be a good one.
Well, it's probably not going to be like the greatest thing in the world, but I mean,
It's just kind of tacked on there. You know what I
Ex-
mean?
Right? Yeah, exactly.
it's like,
But-
hey, if I want to hone my skills by practicing, I can just do single player
They're
for a little
just
bit.
not going to have these brilliant cutscenes anymore. I mean, they'll probably still have a story mode. Like, even the first couple Smash Brothers had, like, story that was unspoken story, if that makes
The
sense.
No.
only reason I did the Subspace Emissary was unlock characters, and no other
Yeah.
reason.
The Smash Brothers 1 didn't have a story mode. It just had your typical fighter mode where you just went on a bunch of
Oh,
one-on-one
yeah.
opponents and
Neither
there was
did
no
two.
story whatsoever.
Oh yeah, my
But they
favorite.
had characters, kind of just like a little bit of silent
Yeah,
stuff
and again,
before the
this
match.
is not a reoccurring feature. This was only in Brawl.
Yeah.
No, well, Melee had a single-player mode, but it was
It was multiplayer mode with AI that was pre-programmed.
It's kind of like Mortal Kombat's arcade mode.
Yeah, it's
which is-
arcade mode.
It had the one-player adventure in Melee.
Yeah, it was
like
adventure.
it was like a mix between side-scrolling platforming and the battle stages.
Yeah, I like that.
The only thing I remember out of Melee that wasn't just the same thing you would get out of the regular gameplay was, the target like hitting and like some literally crappy mini games that involve like knocking things into a freaking hoop or some crap like that.
Now,
Again, this is never meant to be anything other than a party game. It feels incredibly tacked on.
well, in Melee, yeah, it was kind of tacked on. It didn't feel like they put enough effort into it, and from what I understand, they didn't put much effort into it. It was just there because they wanted to focus on the multiplayer aspect. But for Brawl, they wanted to focus on creating a good single-player experience, which obviously we have mixed reactions, but I thought they did a decent job.
Can't
Well, now
argue
they
too
ain't
much
gonna
of that.
have it.
Oh well.
Oh
Wow.
well, I think Sakurai is being a little bit ridiculous, but whatever.
Yeah.
If you want to axe your fans,
I
for
will be
something two
opening
people
up
did.
PayPal donations to buy him a few crates of Preparation H.
Because
just
you
get
don't
him a
go and
box.
look at a game
Wow.
like that.
And another thing that popped up during the week was Xbox One is allowing self-publishing for indie developers.
Yeah, that was
You know
big
what?
news this week.
You know what? I love this. I absolutely love this. Because not only are they flip-flopping, they are literally just putting on Sony's pants. Or trying to.
Yeah,
Because-
they're just copying their features now.
Yeah.
Please!
That's all they're doing. I mean, day one when Sony announced, all the PS4 specs and all that, that was already a thing. In fact, I absolutely love their presentation for that because they actually had, like, what was it, like 8 or so actual indie developers themselves on stage playing their own game on their own
Yeah.
screen and just was like welcoming them with open arms, being like,
And if you don't know, I just want to interject real quick, a bunch of indie devs have been hurt by Xbox. So that's the thing. I know Team Meat or whatever has been hurt by them.
And that's what Amy thinks about that.
Now for the weather.
And
Well, the thing with the indie developers too is that they're kind of cautious about it, just
Yeah.
because they don't know how Microsoft's really going to handle it. It's like, what kind of fees are you going to charge us? Like, is it going to be a small amount of money, or is it going to be something that is too outrageous for us?
And are you going to force us to pay $10,000 for every little update?
Yeah, that's a huge
that's
problem.
They are very concerned about it, so they're optimistically cautious. And there's my
oh, no,
dog.
that's not me that time. That's not me.
We own dogs. Actually, I put mine in a different room. I'm a horrible dog owner. But on Xbox, I really think people have been hurt. So
it's too late, Xbox.
it's too late for me.
It's too late to apologize.
Xbox, too late.
Too
Uh,
late,
Xbox,
man.
go home.
You're gonna
Drunk.
get people that are gonna buy it more now
yeah.
than what was previously
Okay,
figured.
I've got something, right? So this kind of really cheeses me off. There are people like internet celebrities, right? That a lot of people on YouTube will sit there and watch. Mostly like the game station, or like with I can't really remember all their names, but off the top of my
There's
head,
a lot.
like Dodger, Total Biscuit, and
Yeah, Total Biscuit. Jesse Cox.
Jesse's one too. Like these guys are pretty big in as far as like e-celebrities go on the internet, and as far as gaming goes, and it really hurts when these people that are supposed to be like emissaries of gamers, right, are like finding loopholes and finding ways to justify this. Like they're like, oh come on, everybody's being too hard on Xbox. No, it's not that bad. And it's yes, It is. That was an open attack on gamers to try to force all the stuff they were trying to imply. And just taking it away doesn't make it any better. And they're sitting there like, no, it's fine. And like they were trying to spin stuff on Sony like, I can't believe. And this one was this one I specifically remember Dodger talking about was like, I don't see why people were cheering for things that were always in gaming up to now anyways. Like,
because
what
they were
are they
being
stupid?
taken away.
No. See, that's the problem I have with that. They weren't cheering for the fact that there was no DRM, free selling, ownership of the. What they weren't cheering for that particularly as much as they were cheering for the fact that was decimating the model that Microsoft was trying to put into place. They were like, yay, I get to sell my own games. They're like, yeah, screw Microsoft for trying to take that away from us. Look, This is my excitement for this. I want you to see and notice that this is how I want it to be, not what Microsoft was trying to do. And if you don't understand that, then how much of a gamer can you say you really are?
How are they going to care? Because they're using their YouTube partnerships to buy games. They don't have to worry about it if they don't get the games for free sometimes.
And we're only looking at this from the gaming perspective, but I've been kind of keeping up with like technology news too, and it seems like this is also like partially a move because they're not doing so well in their other like markets and stuff, like the tablets. Their Surface RT has sold horribly.
I don't know anyone using those.
Like it only sold like $900 million, which I mean it sounds like a lot, but when you're competing against guys like Apple and Samsung and stuff, they're making $30+ billion on their products. That's pathetic.
Yeah.
And
so, you know what? Screw them.
They tried to force it.
They're wrecking themselves pretty hard right now.
And there's these people that are like, well, you just don't know. You just don't know.
You don't know.
Amazing. This could have been the turning point for gaming technology, the push into the future. And it just became stagnant because you went and let go of your freaking blah, blah,
I've heard that spin from the New York Times. I was like, shut up, bullshit. Bullshit.
Exactly.
Yeah,
because the thing was, the only way that model would have worked is, one, you would have to get rid of disk ownership entirely. Do away with it. Do away with the disk. It's got to be distributed software only. Two, the pricing of the game would have to drop significantly to make up for that lack of ownership. This is something I've talked about 50 bajillion times, but you know for a fact they were still going to have disc games, and you know for a fact they're going to freaking charge full AAA price,
$70,
if not more.
If not more. 60,
So no,
70.
no, there's no way you could justify that. I don't care what kind of implications you had. They were talking about the family mode that you could you could share.
Family mode.
Yeah, like, and there was a timer on it.
Family.
Wow.
Screw your entire family.
No, they're
mode.
like, no, you can share your game with your entire family. I'm like, I could do that anyways.
Yeah,
That's
you
the
can
way
do
gaming
that now.
Right, that's
The
not
hell?
a feature. But I heard that they were like, I don't know if this is true or not because we just don't know. But they were implying that there was, like, in family mode, if someone was playing a game on your account or in family mode, you could only play that game for a set limit of time, and then you get kicked out.
No.
You know, honestly, I kind of wish Microsoft did keep it the way it was. That way, whoever wants it can get locked into their limitations, and the rest of us can have fun.
I was hoping they would get screwed over. They deserve it.
No. You don't understand. If that model was allowed to exist, period, regardless if it did well or not, it could actually set into motion that kind of model to progress, and might not have done well this generation, but next generation might have got a little bit deeper rooted, and then next generation, and eventually it would have been the model that we would have been stuck with, and we would have been screwed as gamers.
Well, it's going to come back up again the next generation. It's just going to keep doing it.
Not
So
the next generation, probably the generation after.
It'll sneak its way back. It's kind of like
eventually, yes.
No. It's like government policies where they come out blatant and strong with what they're saying, and then they come back and kind of just rub your ass with it, like just butter you up, and then powder the baby's ass and that kind of thing, and make it to where it sounds like it's something completely different from what it actually is. They're gonna try and weasel it back in, but in a way that we can't really, understand it completely. It's going to confuse us more into like thinking it's a good idea than it's a bad one.
Unless it's Prism, in which it just gets passed. But anyways, that's probably not a topic we need to go into.
That's for Politics Cast. We'll do that later.
Politics Cast.
Mm-hmm.
Bring your tinfoil hat. Because I got some stories.
I've never taken mine off.
I peed on mine. That keeps it safer.
Yeah, especially when it dries in the ammonia, that interferes with all the... I don't know, never mind.
Never mind, I don't know where I was going with that. But so we can get off of X-Bone, I
didn't even get a chance to get on X-Bone.
You sure you want to get on X-Bone?
Lantis pretty much said everything.
Go ahead and ride the bone.
Well, Lantis pretty much said everything I was going to say anyway. So,
I don't even have anything to say.
So why are you getting all up in the freaking...
Because I wanted to say it!
I didn't say my opinion!
Alright, well, you know what? Here's the floor. I am taking a knife, cut here. Have it. Floor,
cut
yours. Keep it.
Here, take it back.
No, it's yours. I insist.
But I don't have anything to say anymore.
So why were you making a fuss?
Because I wanted to say it. Okay. No, never mind.
I was expecting this well-articulated point as usual, and there's this like, you know what? Screw it.
Swerve, baby, swerve.
What is he banding?
That's never gonna die.
No.
Alright, but this is Ixion news, man. I don't know if it's gonna be good news yet or not, but Double Helix is developing a new Strider Metroidvania game.
I saw that, and I was like, Strider, oh my god.
Did you see the sign, and did it open up your eyes?
All of those things, yes. And
no one's gonna get that.
I know what that is. It's that song.
Yeah.
We have Ace of Base on this.
There you go, Ace
it
of
looks
Base.
Quite good. And they're like, oh yeah, it's time for Strider to come back. I was like, you know what? That's true, because Strider is that guy that everybody knows, but he hasn't had a game since like 97. So, with Strider 2, which I also played.
I don't know who Strider is. I only know Strider exists because that's your avatar.
See?
Is again.
Is again?
Yes.
Okay.
It's been there for a little bit. But yeah, I'm looking forward to some Strider. Hell yeah.
Yeah. Trailer looks good. There's a trailer.
Should go watch it.
There's no gameplay, I don't think. I think it's all just CG.
But you know what? It's a Metroidvania game. It's looking pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good. But I don't know much about Strider, but I just wanted to mention that because I know Eggs is a huge Strider fan. And stuff like that.
Or was back in 97.
Back in 97. That's
something like
that's the fault of Capcom.
Also, upcoming news for games coming up. Pikmin 3 coming up in next week, actually.
Oh no.
Oh
no.
I don't have a Wii U, and I want one to play that game and the wonderful one-on-one. Oh.
I thought he was gonna squee a little bit more than that. I was bracing for it.
And
you brace for it.
Tales of Xillia comes out 2 days after Pikmin 3, and then Mario and Luigi Dream Team comes out on the 11th.
Oh, that's
I
gonna be
have
good.
that pre-ordered.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
There we go.
Now this is a good podcast. Thank you.
No problem.
No problem. Alright, so we have a pretty big RPG Maker Minute topic today, so let's get into that next.
RPG Maker Minute.
RPG Maker Minute.
Thank you, Shadow Fox. I might actually just put that into the bump. That was pretty good. But, yeah.
You did it to me once.
I did. So, Dray has been playing a particular RPG Maker 1 game with some cats, which you
I
care
am rubbing
to
my
explain.
temples already.
I haven't watched those yet. Is there
You
a lot
need
of
to.
Is there a lot of meowing in it?
Yes.
The level up sound is meow.
Yes.
Even when you have a party member that's not a cat levels up.
Well, you couldn't change that, but still.
I know. That's why you shouldn't use it like that in the first place. You level
I
up.
don't know.
Meow!
I think that's one of the better things about the game.
That's a better thing about the game. That's such a minor thing about, like, you set that in the system data, and that's that.
All right, so let's travel back a few years. How many of you remember my Let's Play of an RPG Maker 2 game called Untamed Madness?
I remember it.
It
I do
was a game that I played a little bit of once before. I was going to do like a video review of it, but I didn't play for more than a half hour. I decided that now that I was Let's Playing RPG Maker games, I should try Let's Playing that one because it seemed really promising. The jokes were funny. The story was interesting. And at first the game seemed like it was going to be really good. The first dungeon had a really interesting story to it. But after you leave the first dungeon and the first town, the game just falls apart completely. The random battles get ridiculous.
Oh, come on. You had to have known it was going to get like that just from
No.
the spelling.
Well, yeah, there was spelling errors, but Tree of Life had spelling errors, and that was still
many?
good.
Tree of Life
Yeah.
didn't have them near that common.
Well, yeah, it still had a bunch, but anyway, it seemed promising. The gameplay, yeah, sure, the spelling was bad, but the gameplay seemed like it was going to good. But after leaving that town, it just fell apart. The story started getting, well, the story was probably the only thing that tried to remain good. But as you went further into the game, started getting worse and worse. The battles were getting worse and worse. The maps, you could tell that there wasn't as much effort put into later maps as the earlier maps. Earlier on in the game, the maps looked just wonderful.
I can kind of understand it. You get burnt out making maps. It's a thing.
And
Yeah.
then I'm going to spoil the ending because the ending sucks and you don't want to actually play it anyway.
Oh, you beat it.
But I want to watch it. Don't spoil.
Well, then plug
cover-
your ears for the next
Yeah.
15 seconds.
Yeah.
Headset off.
Apparently, for the ending of Untamed Madness, the guy was like, you know what, I don't have enough memory to finish this game, so he just threw in, by the way, your party members were evil this whole time, and, oh wait, there's not an ultimate evil. The end.
Huh.
I just put the headset back on when you said the end.
Well, there you go. Wonderful
Perfect.
timing.
Perfect Toyman. Oh, by the way, Dre, when you mentioned spelling errors, why didn't you laugh like you do in the intro of all your videos?
Mwahaha.
No. But it's not just spelling errors, right?
It's like,
it's
grammatical
like, and aside from that, it's like story-like issues.
punctuation.
For example, let me set this scene real quick. You're a main character. You run to a NPC that will soon be a party member, right? You talk to him, and you're like, "Hey, I need to help. I need your help to find somebody, right?" And the dude's like, "Sure, I'll help you find your sister."
Sure, I'll help you find your sister.
How did you know that was my sister? I didn't tell you
We're
that.
talking about Legend of Felenar for the story now.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah. Wait, are we jumping between Untamed Madness and Felenar?
Well, apparently you are.
Well-
Although that reminds me of one more thing about Untamed Madness. Apparently they started a subplot about, hey, there's this village of animals somewhere. It never happened.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
But now we can talk about Legend of Felenar.
All right. Well, okay. So I've been keeping up with the Let's Play fairly close because this is a train wreck that you can't really look away from. It's just, oh God, where do you start? It's just, and this is what kills me, right? This game is a prime example of how not to do battle, right? Zero battle balancing went into this at all. It was like, as long as the person playing the game can beat it one way or another, then it's fine. And that's not fine, right?
It's the perfect way to balance.
I should probably mention why I had to bring up Untamed Madness in this. It's because it's the same situation with Legend of Felenar. A long time ago, I started playing it, didn't get very far, and for my Let's Play, it's like, you know what, I should give this game a chance and show it off. And it's turning out way worse than I expected.
Well below your expectations.
Yeah.
And my expectations weren't that high to begin with. It was like, this is an average game, but it should still be interesting. It's interesting, but not in a good way.
It's like a sequel to Great Expectations called Great Fail.
Oh man. But seriously, and here's the thing. At least going back to battle, right? It's really easy making an RPG and RPG Maker to just make the battles and not balance them and go on. Like, it's really hard to sit there and just narrow it down and just really hone in and line up a fight or as numbers of fight to be balanced, challenging, and still fun, right?
And you know that from experience right now.
Oh gosh, you have no idea. It's so frustrating. But I'm not gonna freaking give in and take the easy way out. I'm going to freaking deal with it. But because it really is tempting to be like, all right, let's just pull those stats back a little bit. There, the player can beat it. Let's move on. No, that's too easy, and you can't go too hard either. I don't know. It's just if anybody is playing your game and you're getting pissed, or they're getting pissed at how hard it is or how long it takes, or look, if you go through an entire battle and enemies are swinging at you and doing 0 points of damage, you're unbalanced. If any character in your party can get one shot by a random enemy at being at full HP, you're unbalanced, right? You freaking there are so it's so easy to tell too, but they'll let that slide, and that's not okay.
That's realistic, man.
It's not realistic.
The health of the enemies in the second dungeon was ridiculous. They were causing 0 damage. You were causing like 14, but it took like 5 or 6 hits to take down one enemy.
And the screen's loaded with enemies.
Oh wow, my favorite.
And you know what? Look, guys. Dray said this on his Let's Play, and I know these podcasts don't get as many views, but if anybody is sitting there making an RPG Maker 1, the magic defense stat, the stat that controls the chance that you are afflicted with a status effect, is based on like the numbers that you set are in the decimal points. So 100 means 1% resistance added to whatever your natural resistance is. Like, what is it? Poison is 80% chance to work just, out the gate. If you had 0 in M-Def, then that is 80% of the time you'll get hit by a status effect. If you had...
I'm not sure. I know that poison is definitely the highest chance out of all the status effects to work. I know it's pretty high, though.
It's close to 80. So let's just, for argument's sake, say it is 80, right? You have 100% stat. That means that it has a 79% chance of working, right? So as you can see, that stat needs to be really, really high before it's going to be able to make a big difference. Like, at the end of the game, you would probably want that to be somewhere in the, thousands. Maybe like a maximum of like maybe 5,000. That way you cut chances of all the status effects by half from happening. That sounds pretty good. In fact, that knocks out some from ever working. I think at 5,000 status, death will not work on you. Which is,
how do you know these percentages?
Dray.
Nerd! I'm sorry.
I went into the code of the game and found it.
No. Dray was so kind as to go in and fiddle around with RPG Maker 1 to just work out eventually the rates at which these happen.
That was a while ago.
Yeah, and he made a post and posted his findings.
Yeah, well, regarding how high you set the M defense stat, I'm not going to dock points for anybody setting that too low because that stat is kind of confusing and it took quite a bit of experimenting in order to figure out that it did have to be set that high compared to all your other stats in order for it to do anything.
Insanely low. And by the way, as far as balancing goes, I'm sorry, I'm on this balancing kick.
Oh, but feel free, because wait till you see the next. It gets bad next week.
So have you beaten the game yet, Dray?
No.
Oh god. But all right, listen. You need to set those stats, your base stats and characters, as low as possible, right? Because whenever that's how you get that problem where enemies are doing 0 damage to you. Because if you set them too high, that stat gets compounded every level up. And it starts jumping up so high every level that it would be absolutely impossible to balance it, because you would either be too strong or too weak by the end of the game whenever you got to a certain level or a certain dungeon. So you pull back on those. Like, don't put more than like 5 or 6 in any stat other than M defense, right? Because once, like, I ran into this problem myself where I was like, all right, I want these 3 characters to have a dynamic going. I want an average character that has an even spread of a lot of stats. I want the kind of glass cannon character, low HP, high MP, and moderate defense. So you gotta kind of protect this person while they're casting. And then I want the tank. I want someone with high HP, pretty good defense, but not as good MP, so you can't really rely on magic. Kind of get some diversity going with the characters so that everybody has a role and everybody is important. So I ended up noticing that the high HP I gave to the character I wanted to be the tank, a few scenarios in, was just skyrocketing. There was no chance that dude was ever going to go down. So I had to sit there and go back into the game, pull back on his max HP stat to where it was only 1 point higher than the character that I decided wanted to be the average character. And then I had to play the game all the way over from the beginning again, just to make sure that debuff wasn't going to unbalance the beginning of the game. So, balancing takes a lot of time to do right. It's not easy to do right, but you need to do it. It's the only way.
Yes, sir.
Because then you're going to end up with games like this one, Felenar, where you're doing no damage with one character, but the other character is just going to drop immediately. But fights still take freaking forever to do. It's just...
By the way, if you use random encounters, set it as low as possible.
Absolutely! There is not one play... there are 18 scenarios in the game I'm working on. I'm on scenario 5. There has not yet been a single place where I haven't set the encounter rate over 1. That's all been at 1, and it's probably never going to go over 1.
I thought you do like the Chrono Trigger style.
I don't have the room for that.
You just don't have the memory.
To do that. I don't
PC.
have.
His game is 18 scenario cards long with random encounters.
Yeah.
PC Maker
if
makes
he
it
did
easy.
the Chrono Trigger style encounter rate, his game would
just
probably
wouldn't work.
triple the length.
Yeah, Dre's absolutely right.
I thought that was part of the reason it was 18, but that's impressive.
No, it's 18 just from being that big a story and so much stuff crammed into it. The reason why it got that big that quick is that there are a lot of towns with a lot of NPCs that have a lot to say, right?
Which is nice.
And yeah, I think it's nice too. But all right, so you start scenario 1, right? You have 15 slots full on a memory card, right? But let's say after in the scenario 1, you have 2 or 3 towns, right? With NPCs that all have something unique to say. So you start scenario 2, but you want the player to still be able to access the first 3 towns, right? Because it's part of the world. There's no reason to cut them off. You want them to be able to explore, go back, stock up, talk to people, see if anybody has anything new to say, all that kind of stuff, right? Well, you start scenario 2, and those 3 towns with those NPCs and those dialogue already take up space, right? So instead of having 15 blocks free, you maybe have, 12, right? Because that's got to take up some room. Well, then that happens again on scenario 3, and then 4, and then 5. By the time we got to 16 and 17, most of the card was already full before we got to do anything that was relevant to progress the story at all. And that's the reason it just got the way it has. It's not because I don't really know how to explain it other than that. It's just it's amazing, and I honestly regret that it's so big, that it requires so many memory cards, because that's going to be a turnoff to some people, Oh, by the way, we're talking about Felenar, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Something that I think really set the tone for how the battle balancing was going to be in the game was the very first battle you fight in the game. It's like, I take 2 damage, and I say, oh, this shouldn't be too hard, and then my character attacks and also causes 2 damage, and after a moment of thinking about how much damage I just caused, it's like, wait, what? And I actually said that.
Wait,
It took me completely off guard. I did not expect to cause that little damage.
Mm. Yeah, and that's another thing about it too. You got to be careful with inventory. Like, I would love more than anything to give a huge increase to weaponry, but combined with your levels, you can't really give a lot of stats to your weapons, or else you run that same risk of becoming overpowered.
Well, with that said, you need to have some amount of points. The first weapon you get in the game in Legend of Felenar increases your attack power by 2 points. That is not a lot. Basically,
well, if you're dealing 2 points of damage and that raises your freaking attack by 2, which means an increase of damage by 1, you just got a third more attack power. I mean,
you people are making me scared to balance my contest game.
What are you using? Are you using RPG Maker 1?
Oh no, I'm using Ace.
Oh, well,
that's even more stats to consider.
Well, you can easily change the parameters and battle
equations.
RPG Maker 1 is a very unique and special beast.
Unique and special beast, huh?
The stats in RPG Maker 1 are very, very special. The attack and defense stats. Basically, whatever your attack is, cut that in half, and that's how much damage you're causing. Whatever the defense is, cut that in half, and that's how much damage you're taking away.
So if an enemy has an attack of 50, right, you can expect them to do 25 damage to you if your defense is nothing. But let's say they have an attack of 50, you have a defense of 10, then you can expect to take around 20 points of damage.
Yeah, and that's why you need to consider weapons that actually cause more than add more than a couple of points to your stat, because you're not going to be you need to be able to see a difference whenever you equip a weapon. 1 point of difference is negligible at best.
Well, if you're doing 2 points of damage, then that doing 3 instead of 2 is actually going to be a pretty good increase in comparison.
Oh.
Not really. It goes from almost nothing to slightly less than almost nothing.
That is a 33% increase to damage. Which, by RPG standards, that's a lot.
That's a little bit.
A little bit.
A little bit.
How are you enjoying the story, Dray?
I can't wait for this.
The story is what initially drew me into the game. I explained this in the last MagCast, but it is in fact a game about talking cats, and it's like that was the appeal for it. The appeal is gone.
Oh,
I mean,
goodness.
it's the story is okay.
Question mark?
Ish.
2 question marks, I think.
Well,
But here's one of the story elements. Your first party member, he joins your party, or rather you join him, because he needs help finding this old coin, which is sitting inside this really difficult mansion, and it happens to be at the very end of the mansion on the top floor inside a chimney, guarded by a ghost named Herman.
Herman! Absolutely.
Yes,
Kane.
and so do you want to know what the purpose of the coin is?
Yeah, I do.
just
give
to
it
get past
away.
a roadblock. Yeah, it is apparently this very important point to him. Important.
It's a very important coin.
But he just gives it away so he can get a pass to get past a bridge later. That's just a bad.
Yeah, forget this coin. I need this.
Yeah,
I need this.
Oh, and later on you get a party member that's an angel, right? It's
Yeah,
the model
I saw that.
that's represented by like the kind of the goddess model.
Yeah,
But,
we all know that one.
What I love is at the very beginning of the game, it was geared so much to be about cats, right? So like the rope to escape from dungeon is a ball of yarn. Creative, cool. Healing
Very cute.
Yeah, you can heal at a pile of brush that's supposed to be catnip. Cute. Yeah, cats like catnip. I got it. Yeah. But and you can heal with kitty treats, right?
Yeah,
But and that's theming, and that's good to have in a game. That the theming kind of draws you into the world and makes everything seem like it belongs there. But I've got to question the theming for a game when you have an angelic being, a deity no less, or of sorts, that you can feed kitty treats and that heals her.
Well, hey.
No.
Okay. We're talking about a game that involves pussy. There you go.
Oh,
That's
Well,
our
the song is
sin.
in love with the angel.
Oh man,
Pussy.
getting some Rule 34 in there.
well, she's in love with the kitty treats.
Bam.
I
Oh,
also
yeah.
want to talk about map design.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Man, that desert, man, didn't that look awesome?
That was great.
I totally look forward to exploring that. By the way, the reason we went to the desert was so the characters can tell us, wait, we're not supposed to be here, and then it opens up the place we're really supposed to go
But
to.
only if you walk
you
in a
go
direction
north.
other than up.
Yes.
If you go north, it
Ah.
unlocks any other direction. It's like, you have to go here.
And when you don't, it goes.
Hmm.
On
your
that note, I
angel
am
leveled
so
up.
glad
Yeah.
the cat noise was not the collision sound.
Ah.
Man, the catnoids need to be the level up sound, the collision sound, and the advancing dialogue sound.
It also needs to be every spell sound when a fireball is cast.
But
Just-
back to the maps. First off, buildings don't have walls.
Oh, that's
that
great.
was killing me, man. That was killing me.
Well, hey,
Like, I tried
nothing-
to be cute with it in my game. Like, there's a village of like elves or
Yeah.
whatnot, and so I just use a 1 tile high wall because they're supposed to be small people. They don't need super high roofs. But everywhere else in the world, it's at least 2 tall
Why are elves small people?
because that's how they are in my world. Shut up.
That's
Dwarf-
Elphys, man.
Dwarf elves like Gimli plus Legolas.
They're beautiful.
And
Beautiful
my
and small.
axe. But yeah, this guy just didn't put walls. He just grabbed like the ceiling tile and surrounded the floor.
All right.
Like even on the back wall where there's supposed to be a wall there,
It's
just
a ceiling now.
it's a ceiling tile immediately, and it's so jarring. I
Well,
can't
maybe-
stand it.
Maybe you're in a completely flat building.
Yeah, we're crawling.
Yeah.
They were flattened by Fat Cat.
Well, this is a game about cats. They can fit.
That's true.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Along with that, the first dungeon was kind of meh. You have this perfectly aligned row of trees with this big
I
gap
love
in between
those.
that you could potentially walk in if not for the fact that it blocked those open and passed with a few random bushes, except for the end of the dungeon, which is completely open, so you could actually walk into the invisible wall at the edge of the map.
Look, there is a tile specifically designed for those trees to give them mass. Like, there's one so they look like they're overlaying on top of each other, right? Why
Yeah.
didn't you use that?
It's gonna be okay, Lantis.
He's being killed softly with
Well,
Felenar song.
maybe it was a forest that was planted by hand, like several years ago by
Frickin'
people
Johnny
that wanted
Appleseed came
so
in.
yeah, so that's why they're so uniform, because they were planted that way.
I thought they were gonna be shaped like cats.
The trees.
Yeah. And all the maps.
And the trees also meow.
It's like balls of yarn hanging from the trees.
We all meow down here.
Oh no.
How many people get that?
But anyway, the worst is about to come. I sort of ended the last episode in a bit of a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just
Yeah.
casually talking about, oh my goodness, the balancing in this game. Oh, at least I have items that restore my MP. And I enter this room, it's like, oh no. No. No, not this room. No.
Yeah.
And it's there.
And I think I know the room. If I know RPG Maker 1 well enough, it's that just gargantuan room with this, it's like freaking chutes and ladders from hell.
Yeah, it's that room. It is the worst possible room you could use in an RPG Maker game with random encounters, and you're going to find out why, because I actually kept track of how long it took me to explore that room, and it took a while.
I do think it's the largest map in RPG Maker 1.
Is it? Are you talking about that little underground dungeon thing or whatever?
It's hard to explain, but yeah,
It's like the underground cave where it has a bunch of different paths that.
Now, I'm not gonna lie. I did use that map in Arc Aerith, but it's an optional dungeon, and it's like one of the last ones, and it is supposed to be challenging.
To get the special weapon.
No. You can get the special weapons way before that. This is like very optional.
The ultimate weapon, a 2-liter bottle of Dr. Pepper.
More like Dr. Squiz.
Dr. Squiz. Oh, Emerville.
Yeah, and by the way, the episode that is going to be coming up where I explore that room, I decided to call it Sad Times for Dragon. It's that bad.
What an appropriate title.
Oh, and I just want to, since we're talking about RPG Maker and all, I think this is relevant enough. There was somebody at the MAG back in 2005, so this was like a grip and a half ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
By the name of Sean Forbes, right?
Yeah.
And, like, this guy, like, one of the first RPG Maker games I've ever played was actually by this guy called Defenders of Light, and it featured a custom battle system, a CBS, as we've been known to call it.
Calling me.
And it was really cool, and it was the first game I played that somebody tried to take RPG Maker 1 and start doing things with it that it wasn't supposed to be able to do using custom menus and stuff like that.
That name for the person in the games is very, very familiar.
Yeah, well, he was around at frickin', almost, how long ago was that?
Doesn't he have something on game FAQs?
I wouldn't know,
I
but
would
I'm glad
guess.
you said that correctly.
Well, I didn't want an argument over it. So.
Yeah,
But that name is so familiar. It's like DS Flack,
Alright, I'm
and
back.
then like Sean Forbes just sounds so familiar, other than Forbes magazine. But
He's poked back in at RPG Maker magazine, so I'm
That's
glad
awesome.
he's back.
Yeah, Defenders
I
of
hope you're
Light.
listening, dude.
he posted some 10th anniversary stuff of his game, so that's nice.
It
yeah,
is.
that's awesome.
I'm
Can you
going to have
believe
to
it?
check that out
10
because
Like, we have stuff here that's 10th anniversary.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, Dray, sometime give Defenders of Light a try. And
Yeah.
now that he's back on the site, if you get stuck,
Yeah,
he's here.
there you go.
yeah, Well, he's also at the PAV and a regular poster there. So, actually,
Oh.
he asked me to let's play his game.
Oh, he did.
Which one?
Yes, Defenders of Light,
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
there you
the
go.
10th anniversary edition, in fact.
Maybe you should ask him to be a part of it.
I think you should grab that after Felenar.
I'm very hesitant about doing that sort of thing. I don't know. But anyway, what's interesting about Defenders of Light was it was entered in the same contest that Jester's Hunt was entered in. And it's the same type of game, exploring, collect-a-thon type of game. So
Yeah.
he was pretty much my main competition. He wound up beating me, but I think that was mainly because I had to resubmit Jester's Hunt because of a game-breaking glitch, and that resulted in a bunch of points being docked off.
Oh.
You know, I did that with my first ever contest game. There's shame in that. Which I made in like a week.
And you know, I'm looking at the series dev and help forum, or subforum, whatever, and I see the quest to play every RPG Maker 1 game by Carr, and I guess that quest failed.
It got put on hold, maybe. I don't.
Sidetracked.
It was last updated March 12, 2012.
Yeah,
See.
it's been a while.
That's probably the last time he was around.
Yeah, pretty much. It's a hard quest to do because so many games are balanced like Felenar, so you'll never finish them all.
Oh, there's this other game called Abyss of Ven Saga. You will die
Yes.
in the first battle.
I played that one.
I was friends with the guy who made that game. He created a different forum a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember me and Ix talking to him in like MSN a long time ago.
Yeah, that was a long time ago, 2003.
And I didn't even really
Oh my
know who.
God.
I didn't even really know who you were then.
I didn't know who you were, because if I had known, I would have ran the other way.
Oh!
Oh well.
Any final thoughts on Felenar before we wrap up?
Yeah, just one.
Okay, now was that a raspberry or a blackberry?
A raspberry.
Okay.
That was a fart.
Okay. Okay.
That said, I do intend on beating Felenar
You were a brave soul.
because I've already abandoned too many games already. So yeah, I gotta beat it. I gotta see it through to the end.
Assuming you don't get stuck and just simply don't know how to progress.
No, so far the only way I could get stuck is if I need to grind some more.
That'd be easy. You can just reprogram the game to do what he wants.
No, he password protected it.
Oh, what an idiot. Well, let's try all the different combinations. There's not that many.
Well, I'm going to password protect mine too. It's just I'm going to make it so that you can do something to find out that password in game.
Well, I will say good luck on finishing Felenar, and I will continue
Yes.
to watch it.
Absolutely.
And you should too.
Yeah,
check
I
the
recommend it.
links.
It's funny watching him struggle and squirm. though he kind of gets you back because we have to watch a lot of the random encounters.
Well, you'll be happy to hear that I pretty much edited out all of the encounters in the next episode because there's no way.
Thank you
Well,
so much.
You gotta tell me this much at least. Did he leave the random encounter rate at 1?
No, it's at the same speed it's been the whole game.
Oh, that
Breath
better
of-
Oh boy.
Breath of Fire 1 type of
look.
encounter rate.
I think by default it's set at 3. He probably left it at 3.
Oh, that's too high.
And the encounter rate is too damn high!
I represent the encounter rate is too damn high committee.
I think on that note, we'll be wrapped up for this week. If you liked what you listened to, leave a comment or something. I don't know.
Because
And
we
if
haven't
you-
gotten any of those
And
lately.
if you didn't like it, also leave a comment. Also, like and subscribe.
Don't like and subscribe.
I'm
Put,
gonna
just put big buttons up.
I'm gonna pander all over the place. I'm gonna be every other YouTuber on YouTube.
Don't you dare start pandering that hard.
I'm gonna pander everything.
Next week we'll play I Want to Be the Guy during the podcast. I'm just kidding.
And we're all gonna have
No,
face
not
cams
that
while we
game.
do it.
It's gonna be that game with where you play in the dark with a flashlight. What was that
Slender
guy?
Man.
Slender Man.
Yeah,
We're all going to
playing
be
that.
playing Slender Man
Let's
next
play.
week.
Let's play Happy Wheels.
There will be randoms
And Happy
moving
Wheels.
throughout.
But on that note, I'll see you guys next week.
Later, people.
Peace out.
Condoms.
Huh?